So in this fourth video, we're gonna actually look at this will be a really quick one, but just a couple of things that are very important when it comes to working with projects inside of Maya. It's actually kind of picky and finicky when it comes to it, but once you kind of understand what it's looking for and what it expects, it'll make things a lot simpler for you. So let's say I want to start a brand new project. So I'll go to File. We can do Save Scene, and we can kind of jump right into that if we want to. But what's actually better for Maya's sake is if we go down to Project and we set a new project. Here we open up, this is what the project will be called, and this is where it will put it. So I'm going to go in here and we'll put this guy inside of my new tutorials, Maya intro. So I'll say this is where my project's going to be. So I'll hit OK. So again, it shows us this is what the project's going to be called. And then now we have some of the things that it's looking for. Where the scenes going to be stored, and let's say scenes, and if we're going to have images, we can put them there. Clips, let me just go ahead and name them exactly what they should be. You don't have to do this for all of them. It helps kind of keep things clean. You don't need to worry with it too much once you kind of set this stuff up. And of course you can name them whatever you want. 3D paint textures, it doesn't really matter as long as you understand what it's looking for. So we'll just go ahead and we'll say accept, and you'll see now if I go, here's our new project. Here is the all the folders we told it to create, and as soon as we save, let's go File, Save Scene As. Okay, we see that there's a couple more things that we need to actually talk about. Right now you'll see that I'm saving to a Maya ASCII or a .ma. If this is your first time using Maya, it will probably set to Maya binary, and you really want to kind of use the ASCII. So I'm going to go to Options, and here we say General Options, Save File Type As, and go ahead and switch it over to the ASCII. Hit Apply, Copy Texture Maps unless referenced. So everything else is pretty much okay. We'll just go ahead and make sure that it's there and hit Apply. And that should then switch this over now, and we can, just call this whatever we want and hit save, and we can go to our scenes, and we see there it has saved it for us. So I just close that. So now we have effectively created a project that Maya will understand and work with. And the other good thing is that we can actually take this folder and copy it. So if we needed to go from, take our project from one place to another, this is a good way of doing it. We just copy that whole folder, and we see that it gets everything that's associated with that particular Maya file. So it kind of forces you into organization, which is a good thing. The next thing that I want to talk about is something that I'm very big on. I think that you probably have maybe realized that at this point, but that's the customization of things, making this, and it's one of the things that Maya is supposedly very well known for people that enjoy like scripting and everything and customizing a software program. Maya is kind of like one of their best friends. Well, I want to just kind of show you how we can actually get into doing some of that. If we go to Window and we go to Settings, and we see our preferences, so we can go in and set up a lot of that stuff. But I'm gonna go to the hotkey editor, and this is probably one of my least favorite things that Maya has set up. Um, Simply being that I mean, Max is the same way. There are some commands that it has that, for example, the bridge option in Edge. You know, when you're in the Edge subobject mode, bridge is a particular tool that they just don't have set up to, by default, have a hotkey. And there's actually a lot of things I've been kind of stumbling across in Maya that they don't have the ability to hotkey. But let's just say, for example, like the center pivot. So it's modify center pivot. So we can go to modify and center pivot, and tells us here where our current hotkeys are. Here's different things we can do. Hold Control Alt when we press release. So there's lots of things that we can use to set that up. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go restore defaults. I'll use it. Actually, I'm going to cancel before I do that. If we go to list all, it'll actually open up a window that will show you all the tools that are currently mapped to different keyboards, and all of the keys that are currently unmapped. So it just kind of gives you a good idea on if you want to see kind of what different things to do, like next key, previous key, period and comma, just like in Max. Previous view, next view, we don't really have those. So F8, select toggle mode, select vertex mask, edge mask, base mask, UV mask, show animation UI, polygon. So it's really kind of good to go through and look at this and see what they do have set up. Keep in mind though, I have customized this one myself. Like joint tool I've set to J, IK handle to I, hypershade to H. A lot of things that I found myself needing to use a lot. Center pivot to S to C, outliners O, select edge ring and edge loop. So things that I use a lot in Max, I've actually kind of gone in and set up. And by doing so, I've actually overwritten some really cool tools that you don't have access to anywhere but in the hotkeys. But if I go ahead and close that, and I can, well, if I go back to the list all, you'll see that I can save this out to a file. So I can go file save, and I can make a new folder for this particular thing. And just say UI files, and I'll just call this Bower Vision save. So now it has saved that out. So if I ever once I restore this guy, I go restore defaults and continue blah blah blah, yes. And so if we list all now, we see that C is snap to curve, snap to grid, X, L and K, time dragger, tool activate, lock curve link. So these are a lot of things. I was like, what the hell is this? I don't know what this is, and I know what I would like for J to be. Move, rotate, scale, tool, snap, toggle mode. So I was like, what does that do? Right. So I'm going to go ahead and close. So you see how we can go in and set things up. So I'm going to close this now, and I'm going to create a cylinder again. Hit 5 to go into smooth. So we see if I hit J, alright, it's not doing anything. If I hit X, notice that it's actually snapping to grids. And notice when I translate X up here, while I'm holding X down, notice that it's just popping. So that's a useful command. J, I don't really get what that was doing, and sure isn't snapping anywhere. So like I said, that's why I went through, and as I was working through in my first project, these are things that I liked about Macs that I used a lot, so I went in and set them up to kind of work for me. So those are again just some more of the basic things. Feel free to customize Maya as much as you want. I know that I do. Plus and minus there on the interface on the keyboard for the gizmo itself, and notice that it's always the size on the screen. So, but again, just things that are good to know. So the last thing real quick I want to talk about, which I was kind of went off on a tangent here. I'm going to create this circle again, and let's actually see. So I'm going to open this guy up, and I'm going to close this one just so I can keep things working. So these are our mask. So we see I'm going to go and create, actually go into animation, and I will go to skeleton joints. So I'm just making some bones. Alright, so we have ourselves a chain, we have ourselves a spline, surface object, so let's create one of them. I don't really want to mess with it, but I think you'll get the point. We see now I can select through. It selects on our joints. I can select this guy, I can select this guy. But if I come up here and turn off, this is the joints. Notice I can't select my joints at all. So this is the masking. I keep selecting this. So what if I don't want to select it? Then I come over here to select curve objects and turn that off, and now I can't select anything but the polygon. So let's reverse that, and I'll turn off the surface objects. It will always select joints first, but notice I can select that guy and I can't select him. So that's something else that's really important when it comes to Maya's ability, and Max has this too. It's just it's set more in a drop down menu like this as opposed to across the interface. Trying to think if there's anything else that's really kind of, so we can left click here and say turn everything off, and now I can't select anything, or turn everything back on and I can go back to selecting everything. But I think that's enough now, again, still just to kind of get you familiar with how things go. Notice it will always select the joints first. With select by hierarchy and combinations, I can select everything. So it's another interesting thing here. By object type, joints will get selected first, but if we switch this guy over to select by hierarchy and combinations, select by hierarchy, and template, which we're not really working with yet, select by the root. So we see I'm selecting down here on the child, but it's grabbing the root. So now selecting here and it's selecting there. Select all the way down here and we're getting just those guys, but if I had the root on, then it grabs everything. So they can be useful, but I definitely want you to be aware of them. So that's it for this one, and we'll continue on in the next one.